my goodness. And there it is. Wow, get the pin to go.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Bowl TV for continued coverage of the 2021 U.S. Women's Open from Double Decker Lanes in Rohnert Park, California. My name is Aaron Smith with Bowl TV, and we are ready for the final day of match play before Tuesday night's stepladder finals on CBS Sports Network, with the champion at the 2021 event taking home the coveted green jacket, the beautiful Eagle Trophy, and, of course, the $100,000 top prize. This 42-foot condition kind of slowed players down a little bit yesterday as they got through their first round of match play with the final 8-game qualifying block as well. So the one player who really took advantage of that first round of match play to make a big move in the standings overall was Josie Barnes. Josie entered match play in 13th place. She went 6-2, jumped all the way to 4th, and we are going to watch her here in her opening match today, taking on Shayna Ung, who's sitting in 3rd place overall. So essentially, we're already looking at, an early position round, except we're going to have one a little bit later today as well to obviously determine the top 5 for the show coming up in just a little bit. So we're going to head out to the lanes as competition gets underway. We're going to be behind lanes 13 through 16. Josie Barnes taking on Shayna Ung, as you can see to your left. And then Birgit Norrijks taking on Daria Payuk to your right. So with that, we're going to go ahead and welcome in another part of the Bowl TV crew from on site at Double Decker Lanes. Let's welcome him in. Emil Williams Jr. to the broadcast. PWBA, good morning.
Good morning, my good buddy, my good friend, the ace in the hole. Aaron, if this was spades, you'd be a big joker. That's how good, that's how clutch you are.
Well, I feel I've been called worse, so thank you.
That's a compliment.
Big joker. How about that?
Yeah. You would be that joker, bro. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm here. It's today's the day, and it's crazy how little has been determined, even though we've bowled 40 games so far. I think that's the crazy thing, kind of looking at the standings, and with 2 8-game rounds left today. Obviously, bonus pins a big part of the round-robin match play format. We still have 480 bonus pins left available here in these next 16 games over these 2 rounds, which basically puts everybody still kind of in the mix one way or the other. So obviously, there's definitely a pile up of players from about 3rd place all the way to, let's see, how far back do we want to go?
Almost. Not the rest of the field, but I feel like you can get to a solid.
3rd place to 16th place is only 200 pins.
Yeah, 16. You can even probably go to Daphne Tan, and just because it's Dasha, you could probably go to Dasha. You know what I mean? Like it's still pretty open.
It is wide open. Sherry Tan leading the way, plus 541. Stephanie Zavala 7-1 in match play yesterday to cut the deficit to 57 pins from 1st place, plus 484. Shayna Ung in 3rd place, as we mentioned, plus 380. Josie Barnes plus 366. Danielle McEwen rounding out the top 5, the defending champion, at plus 364. First player out, Birgit Norrijks, who also had a nice little run during the match play round yesterday as well, moved into the 6th. She's 25 pins back at plus 339. Shannon Pluhowski plus 335. Missy Parkin plus 322. Shannon O'Keefe plus 318. And Clara Guerrero rounding out the top 10. 89 pins back of the show at the moment, plus 275.
And Danielle, not too happy with her finish last night, 163. She went 6-2, but her bookend games were 157 and 163. Even if she still loses both of those, but she gets to, let's say, 200, she's in the top 3 and potentially looking at an opportunity to even take over second. But she's still in obviously a good spot. missed a few pins out there, but that's certainly not uncommon and going to happen. You try to limit it as best that you can. I think she did that overall with the 6-2 record, and it is in a really good spot.
Absolutely. 16 games left to go today. 2 8-game blocks. The second one going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. So we're here for 8, and then the 8 at night prime time, if you will, coming for that last block. We're going to go full screen right here so you good folks can enjoy the action, but myself and Emil will be hanging around throughout the course of the day. Want to take this opportunity to say hello to all the good folks joining on bulltv.com. As always, I see quite a few familiar names in the chat room already. So big hello to everyone for joining. Also a hello to folks joining from Facebook and YouTube. We're going to be here live for game number 1 before the broadcast is sent exclusively to bulltv.com. So you will have to subscribe to watch the rest of the action for today, leading up to us determining our top 5 for the CBS Sports Network Finals tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, the time for that. But we're back on this 42-foot condition, 38-foot drop rush, 28.31 mils for the volume, combination of Kegel fire and ice. This pattern is asymmetric, 1.61 to 1 on the left, 1.71 to 1 on the right side. And from watching things yesterday, a majority of the players on the right side getting pretty far left as left as they feel comfortable. Obviously, we really don't have the gutter in play on this particular pattern, but kind of in between that, probably as far right as first arrow. A couple players kind of getting it a little bit closer to the track area. Stephanie Zavala, one of the big outliers in her plan of attack. She was getting into third arrow to start. Had a slow start the first time we saw this block, but picked up steam in match play, moving in or retaining. There we go. It's gonna be a long day if I can't say retaining. Retaining her spot in second place, 7-1 match play record.
Aaron Smith, I have breaking news.
I like breaking news.
Live scoring is working. I received notification and confirmation from one John Losito.
I suppose we'll have to get that re-added to the website now.
I'm just telling you, man, we're coming in hot this morning. That's a good sign for a lot of good things to come. Good morning to all of our good people, the good people of Earth, and of course, Bowl TV. As Aaron mentioned, JB, Josie Barnes, 255 to end match play last night to end round 1. She ended with 3 consecutive victories. 222, 189, 255. Again, to finish in 4th. Many ways you can't finish on a much stronger note than that. Birgit was very good yesterday. Also, that 6-2 record. The two players who certainly stood out. Birgit even included a 148 game. Her round also included 279, but finished with 238 and a dub. Like Diana Zavjalova's look throughout the day yesterday, she seemed to be comfortable early in round number 4. In the morning prior to match play, I feel for the most part that continued on into last night. Even though she went 2-6, I never felt like, and it never seemed she kind of lost command of what she was looking to do. Scores didn't may have said otherwise, but still like her look overall to make a nice little jump or move in the standings. I really feel this round could be the round for Sherry Tan to make all of the moves necessary really to extend the lead as far as possible. She went 4-4 last night, so you give her another opportunity to kind of reset, as CDB mentioned last night, for all the players. Get out of there, reset, food, good night's sleep, and then back at it in the morning. What I saw in the practice range looked pretty good. I think every player just about, we talked about this in regards to lane play, is playing them just outside, let's see, somewhere between definitely 5 and 10. Someone like Dasha is like around 11, 12, but up the boards. Everyone up the boards for the most part. So ball selection, ball choice as the blocks move on. We didn't see players move very much, if at all, last night. A lot of surface this morning. It'll come down to spare shooting. Early games. Let's see, Shannon O'Keefe off to a solid start at the front 5. 7 spare, 10 pin to work with. Shannon Puchalski front 4, split in the 5th. Speaking of Sherry Tan, front 3, 8 spare, strike 9 spare. Valerie Bercier, front 3, 9 spare, double. That's someone to keep an eye on. Good morning, Judy, Selwyn, Richard. Who else did I see? John, Jill, Chris, Roderick, and you can't scroll up. Joe, Amanda, Roderick, I see you. Congrats on that shirt again. And everyone else who I may have missed or we have missed. Good tidbit of information. You may want to copy and paste this one from JT before you can't see it anymore. Ways to watch CBS Sports Network tomorrow night. If you don't have it as part of your cable package. If you're watching Bowl TV right now, probably got a good chance of being able to watch Hulu, Fubo, YouTube TV, Direct TV Stream, specifically Hulu Live TV. Get yourself a free trial. I bet plenty of you already have Hulu, so that may be a difficult one, but give the old Fubo a try. YouTube TV. Make sure they have CBS Sports Network, which JT's probably already confirmed that.
A bit of a rough start here on 15 and 16, both for Daria and Birgit. Daria missing the head pin left there. Shayna, however, connects for the first double, extends her lead against Josie. Shayna 5-3 yesterday. Shayna, along with Sherry, probably has been the most consistent player so far across all of the rounds so far here at the U.S. Women's Open. Once again, we're on our fourth oil pattern. She was fourth after round number 1 on the 36-foot condition. Fifth overall after the flat 40-footer in round 2. Maintained that fifth place spot after the 46-foot pattern where we saw scores go up. 7th place after the first round on this 42-foot condition, then moved into 3rd here in match play after round number 1. 2-time PWBA Tour champion. Looking to make her second stepladder finals appearance at the U.S. Women's Open. Finished 3rd in 2016. Josie responds with a strike of her own. Keep it at 17 pins.
Aaron, not sure if you had heard me earlier, but I mentioned we should keep in mind or watch Valerie today. Also think we should keep an eye on Clara. I thought Clara looked pretty good yesterday as well. I think she's got a great look on this condition. Again, it depends on the pair, certainly.
Pretty good matchup between her and Sherry Tan right now, 19-20. As they get down to the final frames. Valerie, 257, her max score with the 9th and 10th left to go. Shannon O'Keefe started with the front 5 before a couple spares. Folks, just a reminder, if you're on boldtv.com, you'll already know it, but for those of you watching on Facebook and YouTube, we do have every pair in play available to watch. Shayna comes in a little light there, 2-8. So you are able to follow your favorite athlete across all 24 competition pairs here, or competition lanes. Here at Double Decker Lanes. Josie having a max score of 211. And Mark here from Shayna Ung with decent count. We'll wrap up the 30 bonus spins. Nobody really wants to win this one on 15 and 16. It's been a struggle. Birgit with the advantage at the moment after Daria 4-9'd. It's going to all but seal up the win there for Shayna. She can still get to 227 with two more.
Daria just doesn't quite look comfortable yet. And she seems to be already a bit further left than where I saw her on the practice range. The matchup of former collegiate stars on 27 and 28 with Stephanie Zavala and Maria Bolanova. Asher plays the lane so straight. She's over on 25 and 26. She shot 186. Missy Parker's going to need a double to win that match.
Birgit with the first strike of the match in frame 8. Can she make it the first double? Not going to find the hold there. This is going to catch the fortunate hit.
Neither player looks comfortable in that match.
Nobody having fun on 15 and 16 right now. The good news is somebody has to win. So there will be bonus pins, one way or the other. Shayna finishes with 225. Josie's max 199. And Daria's going to have a chance to step up here in the 9th and the 10th now and actually win this one. Shut out. Potential after both players have just have had their struggles.
This one even a little bit larger for Birgit, considering where she currently is in the standings. Oh, talk about a good break that you got to work in and capitalize on.
And even with a spare strike here for Daria, that would force Birgit to double. Now the 310. Yeah, I'd have to agree with you, Emil. Just not looking comfortable with how she's seeing the pattern right now. Started off playing him pretty direct.
Pretty spare though. Yeah, she's made looks like she's made this jump in kind of early. And I think obviously trying to figure out how to make some things happen here.
Well, we talked about Josie making the big strides in the first round match play. Unfortunately for Daria, she was a player who went in the wrong direction. She started the round in 5th and then dropped to 19th place. 2-6 record, but still certainly within range. 250 back of the cut, or excuse me, 230 back of the cut. Wait, no, I was right the first time. 250. Not the start she was hoping for. Birgit wasting no time, gets the first one. Now the scenario pretty simple. Strike win, spare tie, anything less. Daria gets her 3rd win of match play.
Yeah, Daria needed a strike there on that fill to ensure, or I should say eliminate the tie possibility. It was either going to be a win or a loss if Birgit didn't strike here.
And now the 3-6-10 for the tie.
That one's no gimme there, of course.
These games have popped up pretty consistently here over the course of the last couple rounds on this 42-foot condition, where it's just been finding a couple tough pairs, and it would have seemed almost appropriate for them to tie as much as that pair gave both of them some struggles. But Daria's going to sneak out the victory after 3-6-10 conversion, unable to come through for Birgit. That's going to wrap up game number 1 here, folks. So if you are watching on boldtv.com, hang tight. We're going to take a quick reset to get into game number 2. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, this is the moment we're going to stop sending the stream over to those particular platforms. We're going to be exclusively on boldtv.com for the rest of the day. Final 2 rounds of match play. So if you want to head on over, pick up a subscription, $8.95 for an event ticket, $9.95 for a monthly recurring subscription, $79.95 for an annual recurring subscription. Transaction fees do apply for all 3. With the monthly or the annual, you do get full access to boldtv.com, not only the live event coverage, but access to archived events and on-demand content. And, of course, on boldtv.com, the giveaways. Bowling ball giveaway coming up later this round from our good friends at Brunswick. And the only way you can win is It's by subscribing, heading over to bulltv.com. One lucky winner, you're going to take that home. We're going to be right back in just a second here. You're going to get a bonus shot, folks. Get to see Josie Barnes' first shot. Before we take that quick reset. So everybody hang tight, and we'll be right back here on bulltv.com for the 2021 U.S. Women's Open.
I'm curious now to kind of hone in on this 15 and 16 era for this game, because now I want to know, at least on the right side, if the pair is a little wacky this morning, or we had two players who just weren't quite comfortable yet, trying to find an early rhythm.
I agree. We saw Josie Barnes. She put together a unfortunately, that's an all too familiar moment between those two.
That's happening on the show.
Oh,
someone's going to leave an 8 or 9 pin open, hopefully not to get shortchanged by $50,000, but it's happening. I saw 4 or 5 just on the practice range this morning.
Josie was in the. Oh, go ahead. I was just saying Josie was in the 190s in game 1, but did not collect the victory against Shayna Ung. We'll see Birgit, see if she can get comfortable here. For 154, taking on Shannon Pluhowski. Sherry Tan, our tournament leader, heading on over as well. Some of the other matchups across the house. Clara Guerrero versus Shayna Ung on 17 and 18. Brianna Cote versus Daria Payuk on 19 and 20. Missy Parkin versus Brianna Clemmer on 21 and 22. Stephanie Zavala versus Valerie Bercier on 23 and 24. 25 and 26, Jordan Richard against Maria Volanova. 27 and 28, Diana Zavyalova against Dasha Kovalova. 29 and 30, Misaki Mukutani taking on Daphne Tan. 31 and 32, Shannon O'Keefe versus Verity Crawley. 33 and 34. Liz Johnson against Lindsey Boomershine. And Danielle McEwen against Taylor Boltice on 35 and 36. Birgit already shaking off the bad vibes from that 154 loss in the opener. Nice start here out of the gates. Looks like she's not going quite as direct and up the lane here, creating a little more shape. Josie really direct. Connects for her first strike. Sherry gets him to mix up. For Sherry so far this week, led after round number 1. And that big start helped her stay in the top 10 despite some struggles on the 40-foot flat condition. She dropped to a tie for 6th place after round 2. But then round 3, she liked that 46-foot condition a whole bunch. Averaged 245 for the block, including 260 her final 6 games. To reclaim the top spot, create some distance between herself and the rest of the field. After 24 games. Didn't go too crazy, though. Her first time on this 42-foot condition in round 4, but as other players struggled, she was able to kind of maintain that advantage to hold on to the top spot and retained it once again through the first round of match play last night. 2-time PWBA Tour titleist. One of those does include a major. The win at the 2019 PWBA Players Championship. Do have a score update available on bowl.com. as well as PWBA.com. Sherry Tan continues to lead. She lost her opening match, but put up 202 to maintain the advantage. Actually gained some pins on the field, plus 543. Stephanie Zavala with a loss, 178. Drops to plus 462. She's now 7-2 overall. Shayna Ung maintains third place with that victory, plus 435. Shannon Pluhowski, 234 with a win. She's in fourth place at plus 399. Shannon O'Keefe moves into the top 5. 220 and a victory for Shannon. So she jumps from 9th to 5th just like that. We're going to have a lot of that today. Now in the cut at plus 368, 5 pins ahead of Josie Barnes, who's at plus 363. Missy Parkin plus 344. Clara Guerrero plus 342. Danielle McEwen plus 334. Birgit rounds out the top 10 at plus 293. Diana at plus 292. Valerie Bercier continuing to make her way up the leaderboard. Now in 12th place, 236 and a victory, plus 272. So she's less than 100 pins out from the show. She qualified 22nd overall heading into match play. Liz Johnson plus 243. Jordan Richard plus 220. Brianna Cotain 15th plus 205. 163 back at the show. Emil is back after taking care of that score bug or scoreboard bug. Thanks, Emil. Nice work out there.
Thanks to all of the wonderful Bowl TV viewers. Joe, who noticed that, and whoever else noticed it.
So, Emil, looking back at kind of what we saw in 15 and 16 from game one and what those competitors are doing now across the house, I think it was just, maybe some early round jitters. Thinking about what's at stake here today. Both players, Birgit and Daria putting together nice games here on their new pairs, and Josie settling in pretty nice ahead in her matchup against Sherry Tan. And Valerie Bercier still striking, has 256 out there, taking on Stephanie Zavala on 23 and 24. A couple of frames left to go. Shannon O'Keefe put together 3 in a row, but she just washed out in the 8th frame. Ahead in the matchup against Verity Crawley, who's having some big struggles here in game 2. She's got 97 in the 8th. So Shannon on pace for victory, but would have liked that shot back in the 8th.
Yeah, it could have been a few of those jitters, Aaron. I would lean toward or more toward. It is. I think the first game it can be very difficult because you spend your time on the range. No pun intended. But so you get over there, you get that one shot on each, and so if you're in between at all, it can make that game difficult. Right, because you can spend the whole game thinking about, should I be making a ball change? Maybe it's just me, I'll move, etc. And so you can kind of get lost, I think, pretty quick. But you just never get to be comfortable during that game. I think they never looked comfortable at all. Even just from the shot making part. Both are players who, when they're throwing it well, they tend to stay down and post, and neither one did that often. So it's one of those things.
Sherry took a second to walk away from that one, and I feared the worst, and it was the worst. 7-10. Now looking at more than likely 3 consecutive open frames here. Although it'd be cool if she picked it up right here. Just saying, Pins. You can bounce.
That's number 2, right? Did I miss?
Unfortunately, no bounce. Josie in control of this matchup right here.
We'll just start talking about things and deeming them U.S. Women's Open. Like you go to the haunted house or something, and someone says this particular area is haunted or whatever, as an example, and you just chalk it up to the house being that house. It's just part of it. Like Sherry Tan's game so far is like very, very much a byproduct of the U.S. Women's Open. Potentially getting the 250s as mentioned. Puhalski. It's going to be that so far, Aaron, that trio, or not the trio. Don't want to confuse it. They need to trademark that if they can. Speaking of Diana, Daria, and Verity. But more like Shannon O'Keefe, Shannon Puhalski, Josie Barnes. Going past the trio, Missy Parker, and I mentioned Clara earlier. Of course, Danielle, Birgit. They could be changing positions every game.
Oh, yeah. As close as this is, it's going to be complete chaos for a while.
Chaos is good. Most of the time. Organized chaos is a little better, which is typically me. Come on, Aaron, you know.
No comment.
You know it, fam. Organized chaos. My wife would completely different. I know it. He would just say chaos with little to no organization.
Well, what's not chaotic so far is the start of the round for Shayna Ung. 225, 224 so far in a pair of victories. She's going to defeat Clara Guerrero. Looks like Brianna Cote in position to get a victory over Daria Payuk. Valerie Bercier, 221 in a victory. Although she did split in the 10th frame, so that could have been 250s. But continuing to move on up. Gets the win against Stephanie Zavala.
Guess who's listening and watching right now, Aaron?
Is it Shanice?
Yes.
Fantastic. Hi, Shanice.
And she confirmed. Only chaos.
Only chaos. Fantastic. So Sherry Tan is not going to get the victory here. Stephanie Zavala lost. Shayna Ung's going to move into second place. Looks like she's going to get to plus 489 here. And Sherry's going to drop. She's still going to be north of plus 500. But currently the top two from my account here it's going to be Team Singapore.
Well, no one should be surprised.
Oh, no, not at all.
They don't come over here to practice. I know that they certainly use it as practice in a sense to get prepared for, in this case, a world championship that's coming. They're here to win.
Birgit bounces back with the victory, 210 to 190 over Shannon Pluhowski. It's a matter of final score for Josie Barnes, but going to add another win to her total so far this week. Splits that 8-9.
A couple of finishes. Diana Zavjalova is going to get a victory. Take a look. Listen to this game from her opponent, Dasha Kovalova. She went strikes, 9-spare, 9-spare. 7-2, 5-4. 3-bagger, 9-spare sheet in the 10th frame for 203. Zavjalova split in the 8th, which left her needing a double, strike in the 9th. And then 2 in the 10th to get 30 bonus pins. All right, so game 3 is coming up next, folks. On 13 and 14, we'll have Clara Guerrero and Daria Payok. 15 and 16 will bring us Brianna Cote and Shayna Get a chance to see the continued momentum here from Shayna. Someone asked a question, I think it was Joe, about I think, what was the question? Did anyone see any patterns, I think he said, between how they play the lanes and or styles? I don't see. It's hard to see the patterns, so to speak, because I haven't seen them in a minute. Now, from a style perspective, I do think each throws it differently. I've also never seen another left-hander from Team Singapore. I don't have anyone to directly compare Sherry Tan to from the team. But from the righties, I think Shayna Ung definitely throws it different than Daphne, than Jazreel, than Bernice. I do think they throw it differently. But they do have some similarities probably in lane play. I think a lot of that is due to their training because they train together, understanding probably some of their team philosophies, if they have any, regarding, how they would like to play the lanes based on, of course, what they're great at, what they do best. I think it'd be great to watch a documentary about just bowling development. Like watching someone basically accrue their style, how they start, and then witnessing the maturation of said style. Because I don't know that many people who have started, they throw it one way. As they get older, of course, the physical maturation of the body and all that. But, there's still remnants of how they used to throw it. Then you get the rare occasion where someone just had to completely break down their game and start over. That happens, but it seems like it's pretty rare. I would be intrigued to watch that type of bowling doc or development over time. And Wade too. Thank you, Steve. Wade, I think Wade throws it. To me, she seems to hook it. Well, probably if we had to go on a hook it scale, Shayna seems like she hooks it more, but her ball roll is so forward, really different than Wade, who also hooks it, but it's different. I'll try to work on that for you, Joe, during the break. See what I can find out. All right, Kote Ung, Payok, and Clara off and running here. Specific question about where Misaki is, I'll tell you. She is here in game 3 on lanes 33 and 34. Good matchup with Verity Crawley. Speaking of Misaki Mukatani.
As promised by our tournament director and USBC Hall of Famer Tennille Milligan, scores are updated after 42 total games, 2 games today so far here in round 2 of match play at the 2021 U.S. Women's Open. Sherry Tan continues to lead, but now just a 24-pin difference between her and Team Singapore teammate Shayna Ung. Plus 513 for Sherry, plus 489 for Shayna. Stephanie Zavala plus 455 in third. Shannon O'Keefe moves up to fourth, plus 408. And Josie Barnes, 213, and the victory moves back into the top 5 at plus 406. Just 1 pin ahead of Missy Parkin, who recorded a victory with 231 last game. She's 2-0 on the day. Shannon Plahowski plus 389. Danielle McEwen plus 380. Diana Zavialova plus 334. Birgit Norreichs plus 333. That's your top 10 right now. On the move once again, Valerie Bercier plus 323 now, 83 pins back of the show. Clara Guerrero, 85 back at plus 321, and then a bit of a jump after that. Brianna Cote, who had 237 last game to get to 6-4 overall. She's 134 back of the show at the moment, plus 272. This is going to be some fun stuff today. The emotional roller coaster of a brand new top 5 in some capacity. Potentially every game here. Unless a few folks start striking a bunch. It's is anybody's ball game with a big game here. Top performers so far this block. 457 from Valerie Bercier. Shayna Ung, 449. Got Brianna Cote, 435. Shannon O'Keefe, 430. Shannon Plowski, 424. Missy Parkin, 423. Lindsay Boomershine, 424, a little bit farther back. She's at -1 now. So those are the scores. The 9 counts are plentiful right now for Brianna Cote. Looking to go 5 for 5 on her single pin percentage here in game 3. Taking a quick glance around the house. Beer getting her Reichs 4 in a row after an open in the first, taking on Sherry Tan. Josie Barnes started with the front 5 before 9 spare in the 6th, but a still close matchup there between her and Shannon Pluhowski. DZ looking to make it 3 in a row after double in the middle of the game against Maria Bolanova over on 21 and 22. Missy Parkin, 6 out of 7. Taking on Valerie Bercier on 27-28. Nice cover there by Shayna. That has given the lead to Cote after the miscue in the fifth. One more time, Emil. There it is. Just not right.
You know, I can't comment on each one, man, because if I do, I only get myself upset. Blood pressure starts going up. You know what I'm saying? Can't be having that.
Can't be having that.
Good people in the chat. See Greg and Ruth and Sean, Steve. Specifically, Greg and Sean. Hello. Or I should really say bowl drop. That's what I should say. League's coming up, Greg. I'll be in touch for my fan.
I'd be all about the Emil Williams Jr. fan page on Facebook with league updates.
That sounds terrible. I don't know who would be interested in that.
You have a strike of the set video you post with each one.
We should just start an IG page just straight for 8-pin leaf. A point there, Richard, regarding Missy. She also seems to be kind of going very much right to left. And in an area I think she's always very comfortable in playing. I saw a few players pointing it yesterday. Like Daphne was pointing it, like kind of pointing the gutter a little bit.
Josie was doing that a little bit as well here in the early going. So watched her through the first two games. Oh, Cote getting the love on the 4 and the 10 there late. And her diligent spare shooting has turned into a 3-bagger here in the advantage heading into the 9th and the 10th.
Hey, Jim, I think that's a fair, solid question. I would only defer to Aaron just in any back story or facts information that he would have that I don't, because I don't know. Yeah, I know obviously the announcement was made, and certainly looking forward to the next events in regard to the prize fund. Well, my first answer would be I would certainly think so, with
I,
just with a little bit more time to spare, obviously.
I would agree with that as well. So obviously that announcement was just a couple of weeks before the start of this event. So travel plans, arrangements, all that good stuff. Event also taking place at a kind of a different time of the year compared to some previous editions of the U.S. Women's Open. But with that commitment going through 2023, I would imagine that, and this is assuming that you're still going to have the 108 player field, have the direct entries into the event. So I would think folks would probably be planning out a little more ahead of time, knowing that this top prize is going to be out there to kind of circle that time frame, that date on the calendar once the 2022 schedule is announced, to try to make their way for the USWO in 22 and 23.
Yeah, you throw that in, and COVID and such. You throw all of that mixed together, and you certainly understand. So you look forward to next year, and again, just from a time perspective, I think there will be more. And then if as we continue to hopefully remove or slightly remove COVID from our daily lives, and even if it doesn't, at least you have more time to prepare. Best part of your question, Jim, was I'll hang up and listen. You've called the station time or two. Finish coming up here on 25 and 26 for Stephanie Zavala.
Shannon O'Keefe, 211 and a victory over Daphne Tan. Danielle McEwen's going to get a victory. She can still get to 208. 2:8:10 for Cote in the 10th, but bright side is that will be enough for the bonus pins. Zavala 223 to 179 over Clemmer. DZ.
Yep.
267 still out there.
Yep. Watch out for.
Josie's going to pick up another victory. Going to be in the 220s. Birgit looking 240s in a win. 201, 193. Final score, Cote versus Ung. Decent count here from Clara. Give her another victory here.
Just a quick note. What was the reference regarding Shayna Ung's total in the chat?
It was different compared to what was on the online sheet.
Okay.
So everything seemed to check out on the online sheet as far as bonus pins being added to that based off of her 7 wins and the total score there. But there was a different number up there on the scoreboard that we could see. So
Okay. Well, I did get a note earlier, which I just saw that, so it brought me back to that. John told me that Shayna's score was displaying at the time he gave it to me, which maybe was after game 1. It was short 150 or so pins on the monitor only. It was a graphical display error. It's not an actual scoring error. So the scores on the paper is fine. What you see online is correct. It's a graphical error that you see on the monitor.
there we go. I think that would actually make sense for that number. That would be I believe the difference that we saw there last game. So that's a good note. $181, $165. Clara with the victory over Daria. Game 4 coming up next. Across the house on 13 and 14. Dasha Kovalova taking on Maria Belanova, and Shannon O'Keefe taking on Masaki Mukotani. 17 and 18. Brianna Clemmer against Valerie Bercier, and Liz Johnson against Danielle McEwen. On 21 and 22. Daphne Tan versus Verity Crawley, and Tarja Payuk taking on Shayna Ung. 23-24 for that one. 25 and 26. Taylor Baltice against Lindsay Boomershine. 27 and 28. Sherry Tan versus Shannon Pluhowski. Just a left-handed battle. 29 and 30. Missy Parkin taking on Stephanie Zavala. 31-32. Josie Barnes against Birgit Norrex. 33-34. Jordan Richard against Diana Zavyalova. 35-36. Brianna Cote taking on Clara Guerrero. Emil, I'm intrigued by this left-handed matchup on 27 and 28, so I think we're going to take a quick second to refresh and head over there.
Let's do it.
right, Cherry Tan versus Shannon Pluhowski. Lindsay Boomershine taking on Taylor Baltice. Over on 25 and 26.
Uh-oh. I like it, Taylor. Don't throw that anyway shot.
Fun note from JT about this matchup here on 27 and 28. Once again, proving his role as the Cliff Clavin of our broadcast. Saying that on 27 and 28 so far this week, lefties are averaging 228 on this pair. So 27-28 has been kind to the left side. So we'll see if that scoring pace is maintained.
So, Aaron, I apologize. But you know damn well I don't know who Cliff Clavin is.
Oh, that's in reference to Cheers. When we talk about the Bowl TV chat, it's kind of like Cheers. Everybody knows your name. Cliff is one of the regulars in the show who's the mailman who has all these interesting little tidbits and facts. And
Oh, okay, that dude.
that dude, yes.
Okay.
Score update.
Yeah, Tennille dropping score alerts in the chat.
And my goodness, it is getting close for that top spot. Sherry Tan continues to hold on, even though she's 0-3 so far this round, plus 520. But right now, from first to seventh place, only 100 pins separating those 7 players. Stephanie Zavala just 12 pins back at plus 508. Shayna Ung at plus 482. Josie Barnes in fourth, plus 459. Missy Parkin plus 457 in fifth. Shannon O'Keefe, 8 pins out of the show at the moment, plus 449. Diana Zavialova, that 256 jumps her all the way to plus 420. She's 37 back. She's 3-0 on the day so far. Danielle at plus 408, 49 back. Birgit Norreichs plus 405. Shannon Pluhowski in 10th, plus 400. So the top 10 spots all within 120 pins of each other right now. Going back a couple spots after that, Clara at plus 332. Brianna Cote at plus 303. Liz Johnson plus 299. Valerie Bercier dropped a couple spots that game, 173 and a loss, plus 296. Jordan Richard in 15th place, plus 270. And then after that, a bit of a jump, almost 100 pins from 15th to 16th. Dasha Kovalova at plus 182. Ten players within 120 pins of the lead. 13 games to go, which would be enough without the bonus pins. Easily would be enough without the bonus pins. But we have bonus spins. Organized chaos.
Someone that mentioned controlled chaos earlier in the chat. But so, Aaron, this matchup here. This could be an inkling into the future, potentially. I mean, based on what's been happening, you'd have to, at least one of these players, I think, is going to make the show. Specifically speaking of Sherry or Shane. Minimum one, certainly maybe both. Got a little bit of history. Thinking back to 2016, Sacramento Open. Sherry Tan defeated Shannon Pluhowski in 2016 at that event for the title.
I believe she needed to double in the 10th for that win, too.
She did. Won 208 to 205.
They were both on the show at the Players' Championship as well in 2019. Did not get to face off against each other in that matchup. Sherry was the top seed. Shannon O'Keefe ended up running the ladder. But Sherry was the player to beat that tournament. I think she fired off about 268. Claim her second PWBA Tour title. And first major. So the hiccup from Pluhowski in the 5th puts Sherry Tan in the driver's seat here. But just like that, the U.S. Women's Open strikes back again.
It's like the Empire. They just keep striking back.
We are not on the proper authority to continue these references without Jason Thomas.
Sure, that'll get JT riled up. And Neil, too. She's watching and listening as well.
Open in the 6th. And just like that, Pluhowski reclaims the lead.
I've seen plenty of games that players have been able to have great starts, but the back half of a game has just not been as good.
And you figure most of the time it's the other way around. You take a frame or two to get comfortable on the pair, see how it's transitioned compared to the pair you just came from. You know, maybe some of the notes from the ball reps about who you're following, who's been on that pair, what they were doing, where they were playing, what type of ball surface. And you kind of make those fine-tune adjustments. Sherry bounces back. Strike in the 7th, but Shannon can take the lead and extend it here if she can toss a double in the 7th and the 8th.
Stephanie Zavala seems to have kind of settled in.
Yeah, just taking a quick scroll around the house, looking at the scores. There's I think we've hit that that first bump in transition. Not a lot of strings of strikes across the scoreboards here at Double Decker.
I think we've reached that point in the block. But it didn't really seem like that last night. And maybe because the starts for some were so dramatic or drastic. You know, by the time we got to this point, people were just now getting comfortable, and you know, some players were starting to figure out how to score. Here, I think the players had a really good idea based on what they learned yesterday, both times. You know, the morning and the night sessions. And now what seems to be a quote-unquote, quote, normal lull, if you will, when we start talking about transition and middle of the blocks. I would pay to watch Sherry versus Shannon this often.
Have been the two premier left-handers on the tour for some time now. Sherry bouncing back after the miscue in the 6th. Shannon after regaining the lead for a quick minute. Potentially in dire straits here. but nice cover there. Can still get to 205. Sherry would just need good count on her first shot to collect the victory. Zavala in position to get the win against Missy Parkin over on 29 and 30. Can still get to 224 this game. Sherry can get to 239. So does have the chance to extend her lead. However, if Stephanie strikes out and Sherry were to have a misstep here and open in the 10th. For the first time in a long time, we could see a new name at the top of the leaderboard.
I have to go back to round 2. Right?
Maybe early in round 3 before Sherry decided to start averaging 260 on the 46-foot pattern. But with that shot there, it's still going to be Sherry Tan's spot. Zavala did not strike in the 9th frame. Still in position. She's going to get the victory, but her max is now down to 212. .239 might be the big game out here across the house. Pretty crazy for her just to hit everybody at the same time. But usually there's a few outliers or folks who are still putting up numbers. Misaki Mukutani shot 235 in a victory over Shannon O'Keefe. That's going to be the big score. Throwing a couple 2-0s there. That's it for scoring pace. Birgit can still sneak out 221 if she strikes at her with a back 6. She's going to, or in position to get the win against Josie Barnes. Taylor's going to need a double here to get the win against Lindsay. Boomershine going to sneak out the victory, however. 227-203. Sherry Tan over Shannon Pluhowski.
Yeah, Jeff, that's a good point. It's a little strange because that's where, or I should say, the outside part of the lane is where the seems to be the place to play. But there are so many other things you have to do almost perfectly each time to get to the 1-3. That's what kind of makes it a little not confusing. But when you see certain players struggle, it's like, man, I know that player can play there without issue. But if you're just a hair off at the bottom or your first step gets quick, I'm just using these as examples. Anything that may cause you to leak one right ever so gently. JT mentioned that speed bump. You could strike. You could leave a 2 for a 10. You could leave a 3-10 split. I feel like, though, this week, Aaron, has been the best week I've seen in a while as a collective of split conversions from every player.
I remember you mentioning that last night, too, when you were chatting with CDB. Yeah, we've seen a lot of conversions. Unfortunately, though, if we're seeing a lot of conversions, that means they're leaving a lot of splits.
They are being left.
So there is a drawback to that.
A lot of red circles out there. Did we ever get into that single pin stat yesterday?
I don't think we did.
It's a heartbreaker. Let's do that at some point. We've got a sister matchup coming up.
It's true. It's time for all the sister references, Emil.
Fantastic show.
Daphne Tan made the top 12 at the Spokane Open. Also made the stepladder finals of the Queens in 2019. Her first championship round appearance on the PWBA tour. Shayna Ung versus Verity Crawley. So we got the three members of Team Singapore who advanced to the top 24, all here coming to us live. Taking a look across the house for Game 5. On 13 and 14, you'll find Brianna Clemmer versus Shannon O'Keefe. The Kendry matchup right there. On 15 and 16, Liz Johnson taking on Valerie Brussier. 17 and 18, Danielle McEwen taking on Maria Bolanova. 19 and 20. Dasha Kovalova against Misaki Mukotani. 21 and 22. Daria Payuk taking on Lindsay Boomershine, 23 and 24. We got Shannon Pluhowski against Taylor Boltice, 25 and 26. Sherry Tan against Daphne Tan, which we're watching right now, 27 and 28. Shayna Ung versus Verity Crawley, 29 and 30. Josie Barnes against Jordan Richard, 31 and 32. Clara Guerrero against Diana Zavjalova, 33 and 34. Brianna Cote taking on Missy Parkin, then on 35 and 36. Birgit Norreichs taking on Stephanie Zavala. Sherry collected her first victory in that matchup against Shannon here today. Even though she hasn't been lighting it up on this 42-foot condition that is being used for the final 32 games, round 4 and all of match play, and of course the stepladder finals, she's still finding a way to, based off of her success in earlier rounds, still out averaging the field. Her next closest competitor looks to be, actually looks like Shannon Pluhowski. Well, this is after 43. Once we get 44, we'll look at that again. But Shannon Pluhowski was averaging 206.51. Sherry Tan averaging 209.3. So still nearly out averaging the field by 3 pins. But just 5 and 7 now in match play. So players gaining on her through the bonus pins, but not necessarily average-wise.
Yeah, I think Aaron took a break. After last night, CDB told him don't be working that hard, so he just decided to grab himself an early lunch.
I'm still here.
I went to make a few changes. Also stopped to kind of key in on a couple of pairs on the low end.
I was just patiently waiting for our score update. That's all. Well, looking at one or two other things myself, but we do have scores now available after 44 total games online. Sherry Tan extended her lead with that victory in 227 in the previous game, now at plus 577 ahead of Stephanie Zavala, who's at plus 523. Shayna Ung is in third, plus 504. Shannon O'Keefe and Birgit Norikes tied for fourth, plus 444. So that's the current number. Josie Barnes, 5 pins out, plus 439. Diana Zavyalova, 4-0 on the block, plus 428. Misty Parkin, plus 409. Shannon Pluhowski, plus 403. Danielle McEwen, plus 374 in 10th place. Liz Johnson, 130 back at plus 314. Brianna Cote, plus 313. Clara Guerrero, plus 310 in 13th place.
Our guy Jeff in the chat had referenced the players looking like they're bowling in phone booths. And from conversating with some folks, definitely seems like that for several players, if not all, but definitely several. Even to the point where some players and refs trying to figure out and get them into some different equipment, different bowling balls that'll help maybe blend out what they're seeing on the lanes to give them at least a touch more room to work with. You know, you can get obviously very uncomfortable when you've got to split a board each and every frame. But that's what we're seeing. So you may see a few balls that either look to be a bit more shiny, lane shine, but, you know, some that have been intentionally shined up. Of course, all those adjustments were made prior to competition beginning. I think we've gotten 3 different feels, Aaron, of this pattern. Each round has been a different feel overall. This round seems to feel the hardest to me.
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's felt difficult all 3 rounds.
No doubt.
It feels like there's been a few players to kind of stand out and put together some nice blocks, go 100 over. But yeah, there seem to be a few more lulls in the action there where it's just, all right, what's my next move? And once again, what that does for our excitement and yours, it just makes all of this so much more intriguing for the final round coming up tonight. It's usually at this point, we'd probably be pretty comfortable, you know, the way it has historically worked. There's 2 or 3 players who have just gotten lined up and have started to run away from the field. And they like the final pattern. They're winning matches. They're putting up big scores. And all of a sudden you start to see that separation. They start to get, you know, 200 pins ahead of the number, 300 pins ahead of the number. And you're like, okay, now we're bowling for 3 spots. but still really feels that at any time, if there's still a lot of 150s out there, and they seem to pop up very randomly when they do. There's no, when we think about that first game last week in Spokane in the final round, where everybody outside of Danielle McCune shot 181 or under. It's not, just the fresh. It's kind of throughout the course of the round, players are finding these pairs and this breakdown to just eat them up for a game. And they can't get off that pair soon enough and hopefully start to regain the pins that they lost. But it has not allowed anybody to really create distance from the rest of the field. Which means I'm going to have to write even more bios in between the break here for TV notes.
By the way, if you need some help, just because it's you, let me know. I'll be happy to write a bio or two.
I may have some information for you to run down in between squads here, so just as a heads up. But thank you.
I'm going to run through that prize fund again because it's so bunched up. It's obviously everyone can't make it, so you'll get an opportunity to see the differences for those who may not know. Obviously, 100K at the top, 50 for second, 25 for third, 15 for fourth, 12 for fifth, 1,000. Then sixth is 9, seventh is 7,500, eighth is 6,500, ninth is 6,000, 10th 5,500.
Prize fund, let's go. Taking a look across the house as we get past the halfway point here of Game 5. Shannon O'Keefe working on 4 in a row after a pair of opens to start against Brianna Clemmer. Clemmer having some struggles this game. 4 splits up on the board. So O'Keefe in good position to collect the victory. As we mentioned, she's currently tied for 4th with the Birgette. Valerie Bercier can get back to her striking ways. 257 still out there with the 9th and 10th left to go. Ahead in her matchup against Liz Johnson. Struggles continue for Daria Payuk. She's matched up against Lindsay Boomershine. Lindsay can get to 249 still this game. 4 splits up on the board for Daria here in Game 5. Shannon Pluhowski working on a 3-bagger, frames 6 through 8. She can get to 257 in a matchup against Taylor Boltice. Diana had 4 in a row after a spare in the first and just had that good old 710 swoop on in the 6th. but on the strength of a couple strikes in a row, is ahead in the matchup against Clara Guerrero. Emil, I know you wanted to get back into the single pin conversation.
Yes.
So throughout qualifying, the 24 games of qualifying for the 71 players in the full field. Once again, a big thanks to JT, Rob, and John for putting these together. It was just less than 3,600 total single pins were left. Actually, we'll throw this to the chat for a second before we get into it. So 3,600, give or take approximately, a little less, total single pins were left during the qualifying portion. How many do you think were missed?
These are smart people.
I'm interested to see where this number goes.
They watched.
So once again, that number, approximately 3,600 total single pins during qualifying, 3 patterns, 24 games for the 71 players in the field. How many do you think were missed during that 24 game stretch?
Aaron's giving ACT questions.
I'll repeat it one more time since we had a few folks ask. During the first 3 rounds of qualifying, these stats provided to us by John Lucido, Rob Gottschall, and Jason Thomas, there were approximately 3,600 total single pins left. Just a little less than that. From the 71 players in the field, 24 games of qualifying each. How many total single pins do you think were missed out of that total of nearly 3,600? Emil, we actually have some correct answers in there.
I've been trying to feverishly write them down.
I will tell the folks who have 4 digits in their number, that is way too high. I like a few people throwing percentages out there as well. We can work with that. All right, I'm going to try and note all the folks who got it right here. There were some who were very close, who were within the right range. JP, Jennifer Parisi. J-Rod. It's not time for the giveaway either yet, J-Rod, but coming up soon. David got it right. Jamrock. Eric was very, very close. Andy W. was very, very close. Jim on the percentage was very close. All 40 boards with Jeff Baker. He called them whiffs. He gets bonus points for that. I like Don's answer a lot more than normal. That's a good way to work around it. Cookie, oh so close. The total number was 360. Which means the players out here converted 90% of their single pins over the course of the 3 rounds of qualifying. 36-foot pattern, 40-foot flat, 46-foot pattern for the final day. Obviously, that one resulted in the most strikes, which averages 5 missed single pins per player. Sherry Tanga sneak out a 3-pin victory there. 186 to 183. Verity on her way to victory over Shayna. Shannon O'Keefe's going to get the victory with 196 over Brianna Clemmer. Danielle McCune in position to get a win over Maria Belanova. It's going to be a sub 200 score, though. Just hopping around the house real quick. Look like Josie Barnes with a 214, 159 win over Jordan Richard. Stephanie Zavala is going to get the win over Birgit Norreichs. Pretty close matchup over on 29 or 31 and 32. We'll head over there as we wrap things up. Emil, how you feel about those numbers?
Well, when we went over this yesterday, I was a little low in my guess. On the surface, it seems like a lot. I think when you are in the building, that number seems too low. You know what I'm saying? Based on what we actually saw this week. But, you know, as many said, and Sandy mentioned it, 90% on what they bowled on. Pretty good overall, considering. I think Kimberly also makes a good point, though. At this level, 95% should be standard. And I do think, you know, we're certainly weren't fabricating. And you guys saw it. There were several missed single pins out there. So overall, you know, I'd like to see. Now I'm curious about match play. You could just only do match play. See what that's like.
So what you're really saying is, Rob, John, and JT, we need more numbers.
Well, you know,
you're putting everybody to work over there.
Yeah, once you start, you can't stop. I appreciate them for giving us some additional nuggets to talk about.
DZ covers the 3-6-10 and 2-pin matchup headed into the 10th frame here for those all important 30 bonus pins. Simple scenario, double 9. DZ shuts out. Speaking of missed single pins, she did have one in the 7th frame, which would have given her a little bit of extra space to work with here. But can still double and 9 to shut out. Oh. Well, 2-8-10. Fairly low probability on this one. As we continue the number discussion. She's going to take the 2. That's 188. Guerrero now will need any type of mark here to win the 30 outright. Diana was 4-0 for round 2 so far. So Clara can lock this up with a strike. Gets it. That's the win for CG. She's going to improve to 6-6-1. Overall for the event, 3-2 during the round here. Also going to have her second 200 game of the block. Start things off with 237, but 179, 181, 178 in her last 3 games. So Clara's certainly well within the mix here. It's plus 310 entering this game. Gets plus 350 with one more here. We'll call it plus 348. Guerrero with the victory.
We got game 6. Looks like we'll have a score, or we do have a score update. I'll make a quick change to a machine, and then we'll talk scores. And I'll be right back. Okay. quick update. Shannon O'Keefe has the front six. And on 33 and 34. Zooming through Game 6 matchup with Daria Payo. There are fans in attendance, yes. Those of you who may have had a question or curious about that, there have been fans allowed all week. All right, let's take a look at the new score update. And after 5 games here this morning, Sherry Tan continues to hold that lead. Boy. Okay, Sherry Tan at plus 593. Stephanie Zavala still second at plus 552. Chelsea Barnes is third at plus 483. Shayna Ung fourth at plus 482. Shannon O'Keefe is fifth at plus 470. And looking to obviously make a jump. Depending on how this game goes for Shannon, she could find herself in third, probably at least, maybe even second. Shannon Puhalski now sixth at plus 469. Diana Zavyalova is seventh at plus 416. Year-to-get Norwikes is eighth at plus 399. Danielle McEwen ninth at plus 395. Missy Parkin is 10th at plus 389. Clara Guerrero is 11th now at plus 348. Valerie Bercier is 12th at plus 337. Brianna Cote is 13th at plus 326. Liz Johnson 14th at plus 318. Verity Crawley 15th at plus 211. Jordan Richard 1-4 on the day, plus 197. In 16th place, Dasha Kovalova is 17th at plus 166. And then Daphne Chan is 18th at plus 66. Saki Mukatani 19th at plus 59. Taylor Boltice 20th at plus 4. Daria Payo 21st at plus 2. Lindsay Boomershine 22nd at minus 11. Maria Balanova 23rd at minus 109. Brianna Clemmer 24th at minus 160. Oh, I just saw that comment there, JP. Completely forgot what I was doing last night when someone had the first whatever. And as expected, unfortunately, because I probably said it. Shannon left the split in the 8th frame, but she's going to get 30 pins. And now a matter of what her final game score is and where that might put her in the standings. It's a title that Shannon certainly has won it, has had an opportunity or opportunities to win it. Been on a couple of U.S. Women's Open shows. She said all week, obviously the first place check is of course a added bonus, but she wants the trophy.
Got a big score brewing on 25 and 26, Mr. Williams.
We do indeed.
Valerie Bercier, 6 in a row after a spare in the first. Taking on Josie Barnes. Josie now in third place.
Match play records for today. No one is undefeated. Three folks 4-1 through 5 games.
You're saying the LeVar Ball is out of there now?
VAR ball is not in play. No one is undefeated, and they've never lost.
O'Keefe 4-1, Savyalova 4-1, Brianna Cote 4-1. But when you look at the overall scores for the block through 5, just looks like only 6 players averaging better than 200 so far here today. Shannon Pluhowski with the high block so far. She's plus 74 for total pinfall, but just a 2-3 record. Whereas we mentioned DZ 4-1, she's plus 41, so she's been able to turn in a few more of those victories.
Big game of the day, Aaron Smith. And perhaps the biggest move of the day as well. You mentioned the match play record for Shannon O'Keefe. She finishes the job Not the 300 crowd. She does get to 266 though.
$266, absolutely huge right now. 266 plus the win. I mean, she moves up to plus 566 just like that. Valerie Bercier can still shoot 290. Over on 25 and 26. 10th frame left to go for her. Going to get the victory as well. Valerie in 12th place right now, plus 337. So she could be looking at an extra 120. That would put her at 457. She's going to leapfrog a couple folks here. Shannon will not do enough to get into second place, though. Stephanie Zavala is going to get the win against Verity Crawley. So just with bonus pins alone, Zavala is going to stay ahead of O'Keefe. Going to max out 215. Danielle McCune was able to strike out here and force Sherry Tan to double for the victory. Sherry doesn't get it. There would be a chance that Stephanie Zavala could take the overall lead here. Zavala is going to be in the two teens. 215 her max score. Full ball left to go. Collecting the victory, so she is going to get very close to plus 600. Final tally 213. So 595 is going to be her number. So Sherry Tan at 593 over. It's not going to get north of 200 here, but the 30 bonus pins could keep her ahead with the overall lead here. Houski looking to make a move here. 232 still out there, going to get the victory. She's going to be north of plus 500 now. Sherry now just needs a couple couple pins here to secure the victory. She's going to maintain that spot at the top of the leaderboard. Valerie Bercier did not get the first hit in the 10th. So she can still get to 267. Brianna Clemmer putting up a big game. After starting with a pair of opens, has rattled off 7 in a row. She's going to get the victory over Birgit Norreichs. Valerie going to be in the 260s. Going to gain about 100 pins in the plus total.
Another 266, Aaron Smith.
Hey. Popular number.
That one by Valerie Bercier.
So the 182 to 177 victory for Sherry Tan is going to keep her in first place. It looks like just by 10 pins now. Ahead of Stephanie Zavala. Sherry Tan, the first to get to plus 600. Unofficially at plus 605. Zavala's going to be at plus 595. And then Shannon O'Keefe, plus 567. Looks like that will be our top 3 heading into game number 7. This has been crazy, E. Sherry Tan just continues to do enough to maintain the top spot, but certainly not running away with it. Stephanie Zavala is hanging around the top spot. Can't quite get there. Keeps pushing. Gets closer and closer. Shannon O'Keefe's been steadily moving up all day. Started the round in 9th place. Now up to presumably 3rd. But there's just... I cannot remember a U.S. Open being this up in the air this late into the ball game.
They're taking us on a wild ride, and I'm here for it. Haven't even got to the good part yet, Aaron, where the big drops come down, on the roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
They're still going up. All the way up. I
mean, and Bowl Dry makes a good point. Road to $100,000 is getting close. It's getting very close. And you have to wonder if that's, maybe part of the reason for this kind of up and down day we've seen. With so many players close to it, I mean, it's got to be creeping into a few players' heads at the moment, I would think.
Is this game 7 we're going to?
This is game 7. We're watching Shayna Ung take on Shannon O'Keefe on 29 and 30. And Daria Payuk against Misaki Mukutani on 31 and 32. And this is game 7.
Good match here, especially where we are in the tournament. Certainly 2 players who could be on the show. Just as a reminder, this is a 42-foot pattern, 28.31 milliliters of oil. The lane graph is available on the information tab there next to the chat. If you're curious about it or want to check it out.
O'Keefe looking to make her third consecutive show here at the U.S. Women's Open. Danielle McEwen looking for the same thing as the defending champion. Both of them made the shows both in 18 and 19.
That was the Liz Culkin run up the ladder. Rung. I am rung. If you're good old-fashioned WWE folks out there. He climbed the people's ladder, Aaron.
The People's Ladder on the way to victory in 2018. 4-0 on CBS Sports Network for the green jacket.
Player of the year could walk out of this round with the lead in. That's on the table.
JT did provide us with that information prior to the start of the round. Updated through 40 games based off of players' positions entering this round. So some have improved, some have fallen back. But Dasha Kovalova was still leading heading into competition today. If she were going to stay in that spot on the standing, Shannon O'Keefe had moved up to second, but she's moved up a few spots since then as well. So arguably, based off of Shannon probably being in the top three, she would probably be if you go game by game situation, the current leader in the Player of the Year race. Obviously, that can fluctuate from game to game, but heading into today, it was Dasha, Shannon, Verity, Julia, the only player in the top 8 at least who did not make the top 24. Then Danielle, Liz, Missy, Brianna Cote, Birgit Norikes, and then Stephanie Zavala, adding on to her Rookie of the Year lead as well. Nothing but strikes showing right now in 21 through 24. Here in the early going. Those matchups include Valerie Bercier against Birgit Norrijks and Josie Barnes versus Brianna Clemmer. Danielle McEwen, spare three-bagger to start, taking on Shannon Pluhowski over on 33 and 34. And as Tennille alluded to in the chat, score update. Here from Double Decker Lanes, Sherry Tan leads overall by 10 pins ahead of Stephanie Zavala, plus 605 to plus 595. Shannon O'Keefe moves into third place, plus 566. Shannon Pluhowski in fourth, plus 531. Josie Barnes holding on to the fifth spot right now, plus 489, 5 pins ahead of Shayna Ung at plus 484. Valerie Bercier plus 433. That 266 jumps her all the way up into seventh place. 56 pins out of the show. Missy Parkin plus 405, 84 back. Brianna Cote plus 379. Danielle McEwen in 10th place at plus 372. At plus 371 is Diana Zavyalova. Birgit Norrijks at plus 366. Clara Guerrero plus 329. And then Liz Johnson in 14th plus 301, 188 pins back of the cut. Best records at the moment on the day. Shannon O'Keefe 5-1. Valerie Bercier 4-1-1. And then Brianna Cote also 5-1. Six players averaging 200 or better through 6 games. Shannon Pluhowski leading the way on total pinfall, 1306 for 6 games. Shannon O'Keefe plus 98 on the day. Valerie Bercier plus 92. Best overall record through 14 games. Stephanie Zavala 11-3. Brianna Cote 10-4. You have Shannon O'Keefe 9-4-1. Valerie Bercier 9-3-2. Don't see that one too often. Josie Barnes 9-5. Birgit Norrijks 9-5. Even Verity Crawley down in 16th place, 9-5, but 288 pins back at plus 201. All right, got that score recap in. Still a bunch of strikes up there, 21 through 24. Plenty of striking going on right there. Shayna Ung going to get a hit there to keep her string of strikes going at 4. Shaking her head a little bit, but you got to take them when you can get them. Taylor Boltice, 5 in a row after an open in the first, taking on Jordan Richard over on 15 and 16. Stephanie Savalas, some struggles this game. 2 opens through 5, no strikes, but only down 10 in her matchup against Daphne Tan. So they get ready for the 6th frame. Tournament leader Sherry Tan up in her matchup against Liz Johnson over on 35 and 36. Sherry up by 17, working on a strike and push it to 27. She's getting up in the 7th frame. I think with the amount of strikes we have going on 21 through 24, let's see how those players are attacking it here after Shannon's spare attempt. Well, not the way Valerie intended it. But through the nose, collects the strike. 6 out of 7 for her. Josie Barnes, 7 out of 8. But Brianna Clemmer not giving her much room to work with here. Clemmer, max score 258. Barnes, 278. Valerie Bercier can still get to 279. Beer gets started with 3 out of 4. Split in the 6th. So Valerie might be creating a little distance here now. So Josie Barnes is able to finish this game off. She'd be approaching plus 600. Currently sitting in 5th place at plus 489. With O'Keefe and Zavala struggling this game. Sherry Tan in a tight matchup against Liz Johnson. Say if she struck out, there might have been a chance for her to get to the lead. That 10 pin is going to say otherwise, though. Pretty great matchup taking place on 33 and 34 as well. Danielle finished with 245, a 6 count on her fill ball. Shannon Pluhowski can strike out for 245. If I'm reading that right. I'm reading that right. So Pluhowski, all 3 in the 10th to tie. If she gets the first one, we'll head over there for the end of that match. Sherry Tan has just gone Greek Church 7-10 back-to-back in her 8th and 9th frame. Pluhowski did not get the first hit. So Danielle's going to get the victory. Pluhowski, though, 224 still out there for her. This is going to be another one of those crazy games where a lot of folks are moving up, down, and all around. And
yes.
And we still may have nothing decided. Just keeping pace with the U.S. Women's Open so far this year.
Mallory Burke here has a really good opportunity.
Nice cover there by Josie.
Indeed.
And that, with good count here, that's going to get her the bonus pins as well. She was in jeopardy of losing out on the 30.
I'm not sure, but I saw an S4 a game or two ago to start. Or she started a game, I should say, with S4. And I assume it had to be the 3-6, 3-6-7. No, 3-4, 6, 7, 9, 10. I'll get it right. I assumed it was that, but it was a S4 spare on the board. So just going back to the split conversion or washout, but certainly splits this week by the players.
So let's take a good old look here. How we'll be moving around. Josie Barnes is going to add 72 to her total. She's going to get up to plus 561 now. Shannon Pluhowski could have maxed out in the 220 or 224 was her max. I didn't get to see her fill ball. So 224 would put her at 555. Shayna Ung is getting the victory against Shannon O'Keefe. So she's going to get north of plus 500. O'Keefe can max out at 178 with a full ball left to go. She got that strike, so she is going to drop 22 pins. She's going to be at plus 544. Stephanie Zavala can max out at 147, but she can still get the victory. The matchup against Daphne Tan. And Sherry Tan can sneak out a win here against Liz Johnson, despite going Greek Church 7-10 in the 8th and the 9th frame. Got the hit in the 10th, so she is going to at least maintain north of plus 600. Just like that, going to have another player just creep up a little bit closer. Josie Barnes throwing her name in the mix now. Valerie Bercier can get to north of plus 500 with a double in the 10th. What's the vibe like in there right now, Emil? Like, what are the players giving off that we're not seeing here on Bowl TV right now?
It's oh man, it's varied. The reaction is varied across the board. But it's tense though at the same time. So the players know. I know many don't look at the scores and whatnot, but they know just based on what they're going through each shot and how important each shot is and what each shot means. The players also know, they know it's close. They may not be looking at the scores. Everyone in the building who's not bowling definitely knows it's close. And everyone looking very much forward to tonight because obviously still a lot of games left. It's not as tense as it's going to be later, but we're getting to that point.
Getting to that point. I like it. Valerie liked that trip of the 7 pin there. Gives her the double. Looks like a GB4 rolling back there. Stephanie Zavala is a good count away from sneaking out a victory. Daphne Tan opened in the 10th frame. So Stephanie could win this game with 165. She can max out at 177 still. Finding ways to win.
Yeah, her match play record has been solid. Good question, by the way, Aaron.
Valerie going to try something different on the fill ball. Get a different look moving ahead, but 244. As we said, she's going to get north of plus 500 now with the victory over Birgit Norex 190. Woo!
And again, important to remember the experience for Valerie, not just on tour, obviously, or recent memory, I should say, but 2017 making step ladder finals at the U.S. Women's Open. And someone who has really turned the frown upside down. Because if you watched her on yesterday morning, that was a different situation.
I mean, she entered match play yesterday in 22nd place. So for her to be in contention in top 5, top 6 right now, very, very impressive. I have to say, though, Emil, I do have a slight disappointment right now as I look at the Bull TV chat. Oh, there it is. There it is. I was waiting for J-Rod to say something. J-Rod has made the presence known. Let's go. It is time, folks. We are preparing for Game 8, the final game here of round number 2 of match play at the 2021 U.S. Women's Open. And we are ready for our second bowling ball giveaway here of the weekend. Or no, it's the week. It's the regular week now. It's Monday. Why is it Monday? It still feels like the weekend with all this great bowling.
It is Monday, huh?
It is Monday. We will be giving away this round, courtesy of our friends at Brunswick, a Brunswick Melee Jab Midnight Blue to one lucky Bowl TV viewer. So, folks, if you're joining us on bowltv.com for the first time, first and foremost, so thank you. I hope you're enjoying this ridiculously close U.S. Women's Open so far through 47 of 56 games. And hello, hello, hello. But the giveaways, they work very easily. You're going to see a prompt pop up in the bottom left-hand corner of your video screen. It's going to say, a giveaway will begin soon. Watch here to participate. It's going to count down for 60 seconds, and then after that, a new prompt in the same spot will show up, and it will say the giveaway has begun. And there will be a submit entry button. And all you have to do is click that submit entry button. And you will be entered for a chance to win a Brunswick Melee Jab Midnight Blue, courtesy of our friends at Brunswick. If you are watching in full screen mode, we do recommend you take it out of full screen for just a minute or two so you can see the chat. But we're going to go ahead and get that started up in just a moment here. How about after Valerie's first frame as she's getting ready to kick off her match against Brianna Cote? So if Valerie delivers a strike here, we'll get it going. If she doesn't strike and she picks up a spare or a dreaded open frame, we'll do it after that as well. Hopefully the strike, it's going to be a 2-pin, so hopefully after an early spare here for our resident registered dietitian on tour, we'll get this giveaway underway. All right, we got the spare. Giveaway underway. Good luck, everybody. Wait for that submit entry button. And of course, as always, thank you for being part of the Bowl TV community. The other matchup, currently looking at Clara Guerrero taking on Brianna Clemmer. Looking across the house here for Game 8. On 13 and 14, Jordan Richard taking on Daphne Tan. 15 and 16, Diana Zavyelova taking on Verity Crawley. 17 and 18, Missy Parkin taking on Lindsay Boomershine. 19 and 20, Stephanie Zavala against Taylor Baltice. 21 and 22, Brianna Clemmer taking on Clara Guerrero. Oh, we've already mentioned that one. We're here. So we know 23 and 24 as well, with Valerie taking on Brianna. 25 and 26, Maria Belanova taking on Birgit Norreichs. 27-28. Dasha Kovalova taking on Josie Barnes. 29 and 30. Shannon Pluhowski taking on Misaki Mukotani. 31 and 32, Sherry Tan taking on Shannon O'Keefe. It's a pretty big matchup right there. 33 and 34. Shayna Ung against Liz Johnson. And then on 35 and 36, Daria Payuk taking on Danielle McEwen. Intrigued by that Sherry Tan O'Keefe matchup there, Mr. Williams.
Could be a preview of something we could see on the show. But for Shannon, not that she needs any additional confidence, but if she leaves out of here again with the lead, that's an situation.
Just checking in, Sid Row 11 is our winner.
How about that?
Of the Brunswick Melee Jab Midnight Blue. I say checking in because every time when we start the chat, I always see the checking in from Sid Row 11. So got to tie it all together. So be on the lookout, Sid Row 11, for an email from our marketing department to redeem your prize. Make sure you get that right bowling ball weight to you. But congratulations and big thanks to everybody for participating and being part of the Bowl TV community. We'll see one more shot here from Valerie, and then we'll take a quick look at that Sherry Tan Shannon O'Keefe matchup. 31 to 32. Valerie with the 2-pin first time up on this line. We'll have a score update coming up soon as well. Saw that note in the chat from Tennille. And Emil, we walk over there to find Shannon O'Keefe with the front four.
Yeah, coming off a game where she it wasn't 260. I forget exactly what it was.
178.
There you go. Thank you.
And that score update is available online. Bowl.com, PWBA.com. Sherry Tan continues to lead. She's won her last 4 matchups after starting the round 0-3, plus 612. 20 pins ahead of Stephanie Zavala at plus 592. Stephanie with a win that last game with 167. Making the jump into third place, Josie Barnes plus 561 with that 242 game. Shannon Pluhowski plus 554. Shannon O'Keefe now in fifth place plus 544. First player out, Shayna Ung plus 526, 18 pins back. Valerie Bercier with 244 in the win, now at plus 507, 37 back. Then a bit of a jump, Missy Parkin in eighth place plus 449, 95 back of the show. Danielle McEwen at plus 447, 97 pins back. Then in 10th place, Brianna Cote plus 399, 145 pins back. Going a few more spots down. Players within 200 pins of the cut right now. Diana Zavyalova plus 397. Clara Guerrero plus 377. Birgit Norikes plus 356. All within 200. And then another big jump down to Liz Johnson in 14th place at plus 274. Liz, 270 pins back.
Yesterday, Aaron, it was Josie Barnes who finished with a flurry in game 8 of match play, shooting 255 in the win. Could be O'Keefe to do that. Missy Parkin has started well, spare 4-bagger. Shot. Big shot there for Pluhowski. Set up the 10th frame. How many times have we seen those this week?
Too often, Emil, too often.
Really rough day for Bjerget. She gets just off camera. Big shot there for O'Keefe. He's feeling it. Oh, goodness. Let's see if you guys saw that on the left side of your screen underneath the Kegel masking you. That 8-pin wiggle. That was Josie Barnes in the 8th frame.
8-pin, why you got to be so mean? Valerie Bercier striking again, but has her hands full against Brianna Cote. Cote still has a 267 max score. Pluhowski with the chance to get to 247 here. She's getting the victory.
Oh.
That's back-to-back games stepping up in the 10th where she could have gotten to 240s and saw the 7-pin say not so fast. But 226 and plus the 30, 56. That would get her to plus 610.
That's a hurdle there for O'Keefe. So with that, Aaron, 230 to max. This one not yet in the books, though, for Shannon, as far as the win is concerned.
Well, still needs a mark here to shut out Sherry. Unless we're talking about the other Shannon, then yes, she's won.
I was referring to O'Keefe as in not yet in the books. And then you finish my statement.
Let's go, teamwork. Missy Parkin can shoot 269, taking on Lindsay Boomershine. Stephanie Zavala, max of 200. But that game is within reach against Taylor Baltice, though. Taylor on a 184 pace, 204 max score. All right, Spare wraps up the victory. No, Count technically wraps up the victory. So for O'Keefe now, let's say she strikes here, that'd be 220. She'd get up to plus 594. Shayna Ung's going to have the opportunity to double in the 10th to take the win against Liz Johnson. Dasha Kovalova ahead of Josie Barnes, 10th frame to go over on 27 and 28. Josie can max out at 207. Dasha would need the first hit in the 10th. And with the 4-6-10 there, Sherry Tan's not going to be in first place anymore.
What?
Stop the presses. If my math is correct with that victory, Sherry's going to drop enough pins here. She takes the 2. She's going to be in the 170. She's going to fall below plus 600. So Shayna Pluhowski, I want to say, is our new clubhouse leader. Stephanie Zavala can max out at 180. She can get the victory. Still, however. Valerie Bercier can get to 238. Let's head over to Valerie's pair. That's a pretty good one on 21 through 24. Josie finished with 196. So Dasha needs to convert a, looks like 3-6 to secure the win. She was able to do so. So Josie's going to drop a couple pins here from her plus total. She's going to fall to plus 557. Back-to-back opens from Taylor Boltice in the 9th and the 10th. Going to not quite gift wrap, but Zavala now a mark away from winning another match with a, oh my goodness, with a 160 to 170 score, but she just left a 369.10 to start her 10th frame. She needs to pick it up. Wow. And in front of us here, Brianna Cote. One more puts her into the 230s, would force Valerie Bercier to double. This is nuts. What a world. What a day. Digging deep. Putting the pressure on. Zavala up for her spare attempt. She did not make it. She's going to, that's going to be a big drop. 155 and the loss. So she's going to drop 45 pins just like that from 592. So she's going to drop to plus 547. O'Keefe's going to go around her. Pluhowski's going to go around her. Barnes is going to be ahead of her by 10. I didn't catch a Shayna Ung one. That match already in the books. 235 for Cote. So Bercier now will need the double and 8 for the 30. There's one. Valerie Bercier, if she were to strike out and get the win, she would also go ahead of Stephanie Zavala. Depending on what Shayna Ung did, if she got the win, Zavala might drop from second to 7th in one game.
Don't go anywhere, good people of Earth 2. Standing by right now is Shannon Pluhowski, ready and eagerly awaiting to talk to us on Bold TV. And there it is.
Delivers the double. Still needs 8 on the fill ball, but as we watch that final shot, let's bring Shannon into the broadcast. Shannon, hello.
Hi, how are you?
We are doing well. How are you doing after those 8 games?
Doing pretty good. Counting them down.
Shannon, from our calculations, you moved into the lead in that final game, but this has been one of the closest U.S. Women's Open we can remember seeing in some time. It's been just everybody's been jumping up and down throughout the top 5 throughout the course of the day. Tell us a little bit about just how crazy it kind of feels in the bowlers area, in the settee area, knowing it's so close. I'm not sure how much everyone's talking about that, but how's it kind of feel knowing that's that close heading into these final 8 games?
I mean, the good news is if you bowl a big game, you can make up a lot of pins quickly, but there's not a lot of big games out there. So my goal is to stay right around 200 and see what happens. I've bowled some good games and lost, so just as many positive pins as I can get. Kind of my game plan.
Specifically on the lanes, what has been the game plan? What's worked for you? And both left and right seem to be pretty similar in regards to
Ladies
where
and
they're
gentlemen,
going
that
to play.
concludes the second round
wait
of
1
match play
second
at the
before you answer that.
2021 U.S. Women's Open. Ladies, add up those score sheets, turn them into the front counter. We'll get our scores verified and updated on bowl.com as well as PWBA.com as quickly as we can. Our athletes will return at 5 p.m. for their final 8 games of round-robin match play. Again, thanks for joining us this morning. We hope to see you all back here at 5 p.m. for the conclusion of our 2021 U.S. Women's Open match play. Have a great afternoon.
Yes, so the middle of the lane looks to be out of play.
Yes.
So for you, what's been working ball-wise and surface-wise? I've seen a lot of surface going down the lane too.
A lot of surface. I think we made a little bit of a mistake this morning. We put a lot of surface on a couple balls that we thought would make them go through the pins better than they did last night, and it didn't work very well. It made me try to make it strike, and that's just not going to ever work. So I went back to a couple balls that I knew I could do what I was doing yesterday in the morning and just tried to fish with those. So I used those the last 4, bowled some clean games and a couple wins, and kind of the game plan is to bring up the balls that we surfaced this morning and see what happens.
How much surface are we talking there, Shannon?
I don't do it. The ball reps do it, but 240. I mean, we've got a low number, 360, 240. The key for me is I like to throw it hard. So I have to see it read the front part of the lane, or otherwise it's no good for me. So it's kind of the game plan to get it to read that spot and lay off down lane, and I like to throw it hard.
Makes sense. You've seen this pattern now 3 different times. From this iteration, how different or similar has each round been as far as how the pattern has played overall?
Very, very similar. I think besides this morning, doing what we did with the balls and made me move right, so going back to the last 4 plus yesterday, I don't think I've moved hardly at all. Maybe a board or 2, but it's just Sherry and I, and we don't cross each other every game, so there's a lot of fresh pairs, and so luckily I don't have to move a ton. Just kind of tweaking it here and there, fresh surfaces every couple games to help make sure it reads that front part of the lane.
All right, Shannon, just one more question before we let you go and start getting ready for this final round upcoming in a couple of hours. You've been in this position before. You've made the telecast here at the U.S. Women's Open. You know the grind of 56 games to make it to the stepladder finals. What's going to have to happen in these final 8 games for you to have another opportunity to win this event?
I can't try any harder than I have been. Just trying to have fun and just take it one game at a time. I know bad games are coming. I know I'm going to miss spares, unfortunately. I mean, things happen. I'd like to say that they're not going to happen, but I just have to let them go when they do. And been pretty good with that so far this week. Pulled pretty good day 1, really bad day 2, pretty good day 3. So I know they're coming. The U.S. Open's a long week. And it's a lot of games. So good games, bad games, and just kind of roll with it.
All right, Shannon. Well, as we said, we'll let you go. Get ready for this final round. But great bowling so far. It's been fun to watch you out there compete. Best of luck in this final round, and we'll talk to you soon. And thanks again for joining us on Bowl TV.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon.
All right, folks. Shannon Pluhowski moving into the top spot, we believe, after 48 games here, but it is ridiculously close here at the U.S. Women's Open. Be sure to check bowl.com as well as PWBA.com when we're all said and done here to see those recaps. But this has been crazy already. It's been so fun to watch the jumps, the ups and downs, as Shannon said. You're going to have a bad game in there. You're going to have some games where you're going to have the opportunity to pop a 240 or 250, but just managing the ups and downs, knowing what's at stake, CBS Sports Network, the green jacket, $100,000, all kind of making its way into this moment that we have coming up next year on Bowl TV, Emil.
It's everything that you just mentioned, Aaron, and probably times infinity.
That's a lot.
The way the ebbs and flows, if you will, of this tournament has gone. Each round has presented its own unique challenges. I mentioned Valerie's start yesterday morning, first time seeing this pattern, and obviously look at where we are now and look at her performance. So we talked about it last night with Yumi, CDB. You could tell that she was starting to get a little bit comfortable, speaking of Valerie. And that has carried over to today. So, we'll try to find out what that I believe she's going to talk with Curtis. So you may see some things on social media later today. But I'll ask the question or chat about specifically for her, what did she see the first time she saw it? And then what were the adjustments? Because, there had to be some. There may not have been a lot of equipment, obviously, because the ball card was done. But we heard a lot of surface changes. Some players and reps, did some shine some balls up. So a lot of things have been in play, I think, for a lot of the players. But when it comes down to it, you still got to execute and shot make. And I think Valerie continues to prove that she is one of certainly the best out there. We talked about her game, one of the best physical games throughout. Quickly gets to A to B in a very such a fluid motion. And it was really beautiful to watch her bowl today. It really was. And obviously Shannon continued to keep the ball in play, as she said, hit the pairs that she hit. I thought it was nice to hear. We talked about the missed spares, but they are part of the situation. And over 56 games, you're going to miss some spares. Some have missed more than others, certainly. But she's realistic about that and trying to just have fun. We've heard Shannon say that before. I think she's really just trying to make sure she doesn't allow anything else to kind of mess with her vibe. Right now. She's been in situations to win, especially this event. And so it's one step at a time for Shannon Pluhowski. And she is close to getting to getting the job done, if you will.
Absolutely. And folks, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 local in Rohnert Park at Double Decker Lanes. If you're in the area, go check it out. Go watch. It's going to be intense, to say the least, with everything at stake coming up here later tonight. So 8 p.m. Eastern, the time to come back to BowlTV.com for the final round of match play, which means somewhere Curtis is smiling because I'm going to say a position round. We're going to have the position round at the very end as well. Of course, one more bowling ball giveaway, too, for you good folks on BowlTV.com. Courtesy of Storm. We gave away the Brunswick Melee Jab Midnight Blue a little bit earlier. Sidrow 11 taking that home. So congratulations again. So we're looking forward to one more giveaway as well. As we sign off today, Emil, I think the video still plays here. The slow-mo video you put together. So
yeah, be a good option. I think. By the way, Aaron, I just commented how bad I looked I saw myself on Bowl on Bowl TV. We haven't quite figured out that bandwidth thing for interviews.
That's all right. That's all right. Well, the important thing is you sound great, as always.
Go ahead. Sorry.
But we'll say our thank yous, and then Emil actually took a little video, some slow mo, to see where the players are playing in Game 7. So the one thing you'll notice with this trend is players still playing pretty far right. We obviously saw that on the lanes, but you can kind of see that lay down spot for a couple of players in the mix here. So be sure to check that out after we say our thank yous. But our thank yous. First and foremost to USBC, BPAA, and their board of directors for their continued support of the PWBA Tour and great short duration events like the U.S. Women's Open. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider. Of course, for the athletes, they're coming up on 56 games here at the U.S. Women's Open. It's been incredible so far. So big thank you to them for the show they have been putting on. They are great ambassadors for the sport of bowling and really showcasing the future for the sport as well. Of course, the good folks on BowlTV.com. We've had a lot of fun in the chat as always. And we look forward to seeing you one more time here. 8 more games to go before we determine our top 5. Finally, for the staff at Double Decker Lanes, the PWBA crew and the USBC short duration staff on site, and the support here from the International Bowling Campus. Finally, the Bowl TV team, Matt Canizaro, Curtis Von Kruger, Jason Thomas, Emil Williams Jr., I'm Aaron Smith. Remember, folks, as always, on BowlTV.com, bowling lives here, but we're going to send you away this nice little video here, slow-mo, see where they're playing in Game 7. So we'll see you at 8 p.m. Eastern, folks. Let's get it.